The moment the judge said case closed, I knew something was off. Not because I was shocked or sad or even angry. It was the look on her face. Melissa was smiling like she'd just won the lottery. Popping champagne in the hallway outside the courtroom, hugging her friends already talking about renovations and vacations. And then she looked at me standing there with my single folder and my worn-out briefcase, and she smirked. Like I was the one who lost. Like I was the fool who didn't fight hard enough. Yeah, that happened. And for a long time, people thought she was right. See, from the outside, the story was simple. My husband, Eric, left me for someone younger, louder, flashier. Someone who made him feel important again. I was the boring wife. The woman who talked about bills, risk long-term plans. The one who killed the vibe, as he once said during a fight that should have ended everything right there. When the divorce finalized, I walked away quietly. No screaming, no courtroom drama, no alimony fight. People assumed I was broken, defeated, too tired to care anymore. But what they didn't realize was that I wasn't walking away empty-handed. I was walking away with clarity. Eric thought he was the engine of our life, the visionary, the big personality, and I let him think that for years. I handled the structure, the boring stuff, the contracts, the money flow, the safety nets. I was the one making sure the floor didn't collapse while he strutted around like a king. But when Melissa came along, she didn't see any of that. She saw the house, the car, the dinners where the waiter already knew what wine he wanted. She thought she'd stolen a man. In reality, she'd taken a liability. The first sign came faster than I expected. The night they went out to celebrate, I heard about it later from someone who worked at the restaurant. Eric's card declined. Then the backup card. Then the debit. Public place. Expensive crowd. Real quiet panic. Apparently Melissa paid. Tried to play it cool. Said it was probably a bank glitch. You know what I mean? That moment when confidence cracks just a little. When the fairy tale stutters. It got worse when they drove up to what she thought was her new home. The gates didn't open. The lights were off. The fountain was dry. That house, it wasn't owned. It was leased. Corporate housing. Paid through an account that no longer existed. An account I closed the morning the papers were signed. I didn't do it out of spite. I did it because that's how separation works when one person finally stops carrying the other. Inside the house there was nothing. No furniture, no art, no chandeliers, no dishes. Even the light bulbs were gone. People loved to ask me if that was petty, if I was trying to make a point. The truth is simpler. Everything in that house belonged to me, or to the company I funded. I took what was mine. I left what was his, which turns out wasn't much. Eric panicked. I heard later he kept saying I'd gone crazy, that I was trying to ruin him. He never once said I should have paid attention. Or maybe I underestimated her. It was always blame, always noise. And Melissa. She finally started asking questions she should have asked months earlier. Who really owned the house? Why the power was cut? Why the car got repossessed 2 days later? Why his phone stopped working? Why the fridge was empty? She was learning fast and painfully that lifestyle isn't the same as stability. A week later, they showed up at the office. My office. Or what used to be our office, depending on who you asked. It was quiet. Empty desks. No staff. No reception. Just me sitting in the conference room finishing emails. When Eric stormed in yelling about theft and betrayal, I didn't even look up at first. I just let him burn through his words. When he finally stopped, I slid the incorporation documents across the table. The operating agreement. The clauses he never read because in his words, that's what you're for. Turns out, words matter. Especially the ones about infidelity dissolution and asset reversion. Melissa stood there watching his world collapse in real time. I could see it in her eyes. This wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to win. She was supposed to replace me, not realize I'd been holding everything together the whole time. When she finally spoke, it wasn't anger. It was desperation, accusing me of stealing his life. I told her the truth. I didn't steal anything. I reclaimed my investment. Eric was a bad one. High maintenance, low return, depreciating fast. Security walked them out. From there, things unraveled quickly. Motel near the airport, selling jewelry at a loss. Eric refusing real work because it was beneath him. Melissa cleaning locker rooms at a gym she once quit with a dramatic speech about marrying rich. I didn't watch all of it closely, but word gets around, especially when people start realizing the story they believed was wrong. Then came the part that surprised even me. Melissa tried to threaten me. Showed up at a coffee shop, sunglasses on, acting tough. She had found old financial records, offshore accounts Eric used years ago, dirty money, kickbacks. She thought she had leverage. What she didn't know was that I'd found those records long before she ever existed in our lives. I'd already turned them over, already worked with investigators, already made sure I was protected. When I explained that to her slowly, calmly like you would to someone who's panicking, her face changed. She realized she wasn't a mastermind. She was a witness, maybe worse. She'd spent that money, accepted gifts, posted about it online. That's not ignorance, that's involvement. I recorded the conversation, not because I wanted revenge, but because I wanted insurance. Against stupidity, against desperation. I let her walk away. I didn't need to destroy her. Life was already doing that. Eric was arrested months later. White-collar charges, long sentence. The kind of fall people think only happens to other people. He wrote me letters at first, apologies, then anger, then silence. I never opened them. Now, here's the part people argue about. Some say I went too far, that I should have warned him, that I should have been kinder. But here's the thing no one likes to admit. I carried a grown man for years while being dismissed as background noise. I was called boring because I cared about consequences. I was underestimated because I didn't need to be loud. When I finally stepped away, I didn't push him into ruin. I stopped pulling him out of it. Today, my life is quieter, stronger, built on things that don't disappear when someone gets bored or insecure. And every once in a while I hear someone mention Melissa. She's raising a kid now, working long hours, living a life she never planned for. I don't hate her. I see her as a proof of something people don't want to hear. Sometimes the person you think you're replacing isn't weak. They're just done carrying everyone else. So what do you think? Was I wrong for walking away the way I did? Did Eric get what he deserved, or was the punishment too harsh? And what about Melissa? Victim villain, or just another person who believed the wrong story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And if you've ever been underestimated, dismissed, or treated like you were replaceable, yeah, you know exactly why this story matters.